Bitcoin is a bank in cyberspace. Monetary energy, core of the earth. Doubles every year. Listen to my words. Selling doesn't hurt. Selling is absurd. It's like cutting off your wings, but you want to be a bird.
Okay guys, welcome back. What's happening? How is everybody? Everybody enjoying these dumps and pumps and everything? It's just crazy. So much news, so much mixed news as well. You've got some news coming out on mainstream media, you know, ban this, ban that, do this, do that, all these like crazy FUD news. And then also in this, you know, mainstream media like Bloomberg and this and that, you've got the likes of the founder of what's it called, eToro, come up, and they've just gone public, by the way. They come up and they say, you know, Bitcoin's king, Bitcoin's here to stay. Exactly. You've got the likes of Plan B, goes on Bloomberg and he says, you know, the 288k is still in play. So you've got analysts saying everything's in play. You've got people with no knowledge saying it's going to go down or do this, do that, right? It's all about, you know, they just want to basically protect their system because they can see they've got a failing system. The battle's on, right? And it's all got to do with El Salvador, right? What they've done. You know, recently there, as I mentioned before as well, there are other countries who are also interested, right? It's coming, mass adoption is coming, right? And these countries are now facing a battle because you've got the bigger powers, you know, the other people, them, they, those, you know, they are coming down hard, right? The IMF is coming down hard on a country. It's just pathetic, right? You know, people just can't be free. A nation just can't be free, you know? And you look at all of this, it's just mental. So obviously I was like browsing through some news articles and this and that, and I came across an article and I posted it yesterday on Twitter as well, because 3 days ago, I believe 3 days ago, I made a video and I mentioned how I have a gut feeling that there's going to be some conversation regarding that that video Elizabeth Warren thingy, and I said I've got a feeling they are going to talk about it in the G7. Well, it comes out the security advisor for Joe Biden has given a statement that they will be talking about the ransomware problem that is happening globally. So if all the countries don't come together and do something about it. Now, with ransomware, Russian hackers, Chinese hackers, I don't know who the hell they are, right? Any hackers, right? You know, the problem is they seem to be always, now they're a bunch of idiots, by the way. I'll tell you this, they're a bunch of idiots, right? They seem to be always putting Bitcoin in the limelight. And the thing that doesn't make any sense to me, right, is Bitcoin is traceable. Trackable, traceable. Half of these ransomware attacks, the Bitcoin that they've taken, right, have never been cashed out. Just sitting there, just dead coins, literally, because they're colored coins. You see, they've been on the network, they've been flagged up, they're being monitored. Those coins are being monitored, right? They're not going anywhere. So those coins aren't going anywhere. So I'm thinking, why are these hackers hacking with Bitcoin when they know they can't actually do anything with those Bitcoin that they take? And even when they did try to take the Bitcoin and take the money out, so those, you know, whoever those recent ones were, they got caught. And, you know, they got intercepted halfway and the money got taken back again. Almost all of the money, almost all, by the way. Originally it was 2.3, now they've managed to recover all of it. It just doesn't make any sense, right? I mean, if you're gonna hack something, you know, if it's non-political and you're doing it to make some money, you're a scammer, you want to make some money, happy days, quick money, Monero. All you need is Monero. All you need is Zcash. Even Dash, for God's sake, right? So all you need is a privacy coin, something that nobody can track. So it doesn't make any sense. when you have the best form of privacy coins out there, battle tested, why would you use Bitcoin? Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. So, all of this thing happening, like, whatever the pipeline got hacked just before the G7, got recovered just before the G7. The security advisor wants to talk about the issue with ransomware in the G7. So it's all about the G7, right? The global 7, right? The great 7, the whatever 7, right? The allies. That's what it is, right? Everybody come together. Let's do something together. But what piqued my interest wasn't even all of that. I was like, look, I was expecting something to happen, because all of the the prior news to the G7 indicated that they are going to talk about it in the G7. That's what I predicted based on the data I was already seeing, and then we've now got confirmations, right, which is fine. But the thing I really wanted, piqued my interest, was the Great 7 or G7. They want to come together. There's a few more other countries there that most people don't even give a damn about. In fact, those G7 guys don't give a damn about. They're just going to use them and abuse them, right? They just don't understand this. It's sad for them anyway, but that's what it is, right? When you've got superpowers who come together, well, they're more super than super. Trust me, even kryptonite can't do anything to them. So that's what it is, right? So anyway, we're not going to go into politics here, right? But the point is they are going to definitely, the main agenda is to talk about the global economical problem. They want to do a rebound because of the COVID crisis, right? And what Boris Johnson said was really good, right? Boris Johnson turned around and said, we don't want to see a 2008 scenario. And that's what piqued my interest. I was like, and I actually mentioned this somewhere as well. I said, the 2008 scenario, that's what it looks like, right? So they're not going to have that, and they don't want that. So what's going to happen is you've got, Bitcoin came in as a savior to the problem that happened in 2008, the financial system crisis, right? And technically, a lot of people don't realize this. Regardless how much money they print, regardless how much, they've got the power to change whatever, right? If the government says a piece of paper, a piece of toilet paper is your money, then it's your money, right? That's what it is. Everyone can use that. And what's going to happen is they already know that financial system has collapsed. It has collapsed. And, so only way for them to do something is going to be something similar to a Great Reset. Now, Great Reset is quite funny because so I'm going to this is going to be more like a bit of a conspiracy, right? A bit of a conspiracy. Right? So the COVID-19 pandemic situation is something that Bill Gates talked about not long before the COVID. That's one. So the scenario, the model, everything played out pretty much on the dot, right? So we had that. Then from 2020, like just before the COVID, there was this massive conversation about the Great Reset, right? Everyone's been talking about the Great Reset, right? Reset what was the question, right? So that was one, the Great Reset. And then they were talking about all these environmental thing and this and that, right? That's what they're talking about. So there's this big agenda, right? And a lot of these things, if you add them together, also they were talking about how the global population is growing, and there may be situations where there may be food shortages, because everybody in so we're in an industrial age, right? Technically, right? But everybody is too focused on technology, not enough on agriculture. And that's becoming a bit of an issue, right? So, how do you produce food, right? It's like, those kind of crazy stuff. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but that's what I'm saying, right? So they've been talking about this, like the Great Reset, Great Reset, Great Reset. Now, what's his name? When they had Donald Trump, I don't think they really found him comfortable. He was a kind of a loose cannon, right? So he's unpredictable. You never know what he's going to say. He's not a team player. Let's put it this way. He's not a team player, right? Maybe he was, maybe the whole agenda was to be not the team player. I don't know, but I'm not going to go into that, right? I'm not going to go into the, presidents are not elected, selected. I'm not going to go into that, right? It's a whole different story. But what I want to say is this, you got the G7 people coming together. They're going to talk about all of this. They're going to talk about how to fix the money. Now, we do know the stage one of how to fix the money was technically the euro. You've got the dollar, and then you've got the euro dollar. Euro kind of unified the whole Europe and made one currency out of it. What do I see next? Now, we do know there's a lot of conversation about CBDC, central bank digital currency. Each country is trying their own method. And there's going to be massive backlash. You think El Salvador accepting Bitcoin as the legal tender is a problem with IMF? No. IMF has a bigger problem if every country prints CBDC. You got a bigger problem. IMF will have to come up. So this is what I'm saying. Don't look at what you see in front of you. Try and understand what's behind, right? What's behind the curtains. What is it that we don't really see? And this is what I'm seeing, right? I'm seeing a country puts $150 million. I mean, today's market volume, 40 billion, right? Total market cap volume, right? It's about 90 billion. Global market cap, 1.53 trillion. And you're talking about 0.01%. Seriously? You're making an issue out of that? IMF, you seriously making an issue out of that? Doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make, to me at least. I don't know if it makes any sense to people. I mean, most people are like, that's absolute, yep, that man said it, that's it, full stop. I don't agree with that. I'm sure the IMF, the World Bank, they're all involved. By the way, the World Bank is a separate entity to the IMF, right? I'm sure they're already deciding what they want to do. And the only solution I can see that they might be coming up with, remember, big brains think big stuff, right? So when you got the top guys in the world coming together deciding what to do with the world economy, because they're not talking about my economy, your economy, they're not talking about independent countries. They're saying, how do we resolve this global problem? So you got the global leaders, right? The great global 7, right? They're gonna come, and I've got this feeling. It might not be now, maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years, maybe even 20 years, maybe even 20 years. But it's coming. A universal currency is coming. The World Bank will issue a universal currency, a digital one, a CBDC, which every other country will use one way or another. They're going to find a way. Because you know what? When you don't agree, we embargo you. We sanction you. That's what they're going to do, right? Taxes, levies, this, that. Honestly, it's pathetic. It's pathetic. That's what you do, right? When you become a superpower, you become the super bully. You bully everybody into it. So El Salvador's you see some news. I don't know how far how strong they are, if they can hold the battle. I mean, they accepted it, that's a different story. But because they made it a legal tender, that's the issue. That's something nobody wanted or expected, right? Anyone to do. They've just gone against the grain, right? So this is what it is. And that's what's going to be the problem. So if more and more people think that it's okay or it's easy, then of course they're going to go ahead and they're going to also do it in their nations as well. And remember, there's so many micronations out there, right? That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. So the IMF is World Bank, IMF, whatever you want to call it. They're all involved. They're all involved. They're working on something. That's the bigger picture I see. That's my own opinion. It's no financial advice. I don't know what you see. That's what I see, right? I see that one country says, we got the dollar, happy days. We got the dollar, happy days. But we're also going to accept Bitcoin. And we're only going to put $150 million in our treasury. And the IMF is all pissed off about it. Seriously? That just says something else. Something else. Controlled. Big control. Talking about money, market is down, but DeFi is doing very good. People in DeFi, not bothered. But guess who's invested in DeFi? It's not your average retail. Your average retail, what's he going to go with? You know, a couple $100, a couple of $1,000. Okay, maybe $50,000. Okay, he sold his house, maybe a couple of $100,000. Simple, right? Possible. It's not impossible. Your average retail guy. That's it. We see billions locked in there. Billions, not millions. Billions in some pools. When you're seeing that, you know the institutions are already in there. The institutions are monetizing themselves on the DeFi right now. There's a hidden agenda, you know. The amount of time Ethereum is being put on the map, that's there. We've got the EIP 1559 confirmed. Well, not confirmed, the rumor is that July the 14th, next month, so about 30 days from now, approximately 30 days from now, they're going to do the upgrade. But we do have one confirmed thing, not the date, but the month. Bitcoin's official Taproot upgrade has been complete. All the nodes have connected, it's all done, right? So it's already running technically. The main upgrade will be done in November this year. So we have a brand new upgrade coming. It will make it more faster, more reliable, more secure, and actually adds a little bit of a privacy filter to it as well. It's good because it's been years since Bitcoin had any proper upgrades, right? It's been years because Segwit has been around for a good few years, and since then nothing really. Also, I'm seeing Lightning Network explode as well a little bit. Lightning Network is going to be mainstream very soon, right? I'm quite happy about Lightning Network. If Lightning Network actually manages to be adopted, right, mainstream, but I'm talking like everybody uses a Lightning wallet, there's actually some serious implications to that. And what I see is basically you'll have more and more people use Bitcoin to move large sums and this and that. Mostly institutions. Obviously, your average guy doesn't want. Not your average guy. Your Bitcoiner, someone who believes in Bitcoin and who gave up his fiat, he's not going to sell. He's not going to use. That's a different story. He's not going to bother. He's just going to get rid of his fiat and just chuck it into Bitcoin, right? Dollar cost average. I know people who dollar cost average every week. They don't care. They'll buy every week, regardless what happens. A portion of their income goes into this, right? Also in the news, there are actually Super League players, baseball players, and basketball players, and this and that. They're actually accepting Bitcoin as part of their income. So they say, give me half my money in Bitcoin. That's what's going on. So there's massive adoption going on, and Lightning Network will just sort it out. Talking about Litecoin, kind of slipped there. Well, Litecoin is also planning an upgrade. There's conversations. I didn't see any confirmations, but I have seen conversations regarding how Litecoin wants to go to proof of stake. Interesting. But Litecoin also has something else connected, which is Dogecoin. A lot of people didn't know. So Dogecoin mining happens on the Lightning Network. So the blockchains are confirmed at the same time, like interconnected. If Litecoin goes proof of stake, Dogecoin becomes proof of stake. So that's what I'm saying. Something else bigger in play, right? Bigger in play. I was messing around with a chart. I was watching, so I'm on YouTube. I get all these notifications for some of the subscriptions that I have. And just under the thing, I get a video, Benjamin Cowan. And I see his video regarding diminishing returns and extending bull runs. You know, I looked at it, made sense. So I sat on my chart. I said, okay, that's your view. And he's correct when he's talking about diminishing returns. He's talking about, or in my opinion, I know most people probably think, oh, less gains. Technically, the percentage is lower. So the percentage is lower. Whereas in, for example, 5 years ago, you'd have seen 100%, like 100x. Then not long ago, you'd have probably seen 10x, or in the future, you might see 5x. But the question, when it comes to diminishing returns, I think it's just the percentage, not the value. So the value, if you have a coin going from 1,000, 100x, right, to say 10,000, just for the sake of this, right? Just say 1,000 to 10,000 is 10,000. If you then do a 10x on that, and you go from 10,000 to 100,000, you just 10x, right? But then if you 5x the 100, that's 500. So over a macro term, it looks like less and less percentage, but over time you actually end up making more. So that's all I want to say, right? So that's what I was looking at, and I thought, okay, let me see what he's doing, let me see what I see in the chart. Just a little chart update. I will add it onto the other videos, so just wanted to show you basically while I do this update. So this is the chart that I've left on public for the moment. This is the drawings we did the other day, so I'm just going to move this over a little bit. There's actually some funny stuff happening, so I'm just going to move it over just because these are valid. We are going to play with these later. For now, if you just look at this specific area, what you see is how the Bitcoin is actually playing with us. So this particular triangle we drew the other day is actually playing with us, and I've actually found something quite funny, so I'm just going to put that here just to show you what I'm seeing. So you see this particular zone here, right? This particular area here, it's become a lovely little resistance, right? So coincidentally, now we have two resistance. So we have this, which was holding a support. This is broken down, so we've come here and we're following the longer time trend line, as you can see. So the trend line, we're holding that. If we break that, then we're going to come and we'll probably find support around this particular channel. If we don't, then we're going to do the double bottom. So just wanted to kind of update you on that one. The other thing that I was talking about in the video is this particular chart here. So instead of showing you a picture, I just want to show you what I'm seeing, right? So this is related to what I was talking about, like, where the diminishing returns and this and that, right? So number one problem we've got is we've got the logarithmic chart. Obviously that's fine. Okay, we've got this box here from the bottom to the top, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find the tops per halving. But unfortunately with this one, because the data doesn't exist, because we did have a halving, I'm not going to bother showing anything here. But from this particular halving, we do have the data, and we can see how many days until we topped out, right? So that's what we're looking for. The data we're looking for is when did we top out, right? So you can see here from the day of halving to the point where we topped up, right, it was exactly 365 days, right, which is 12 bars on a monthly, as you can see, right? Now we have a slightly different story from this particular halving day, right, to this particular halving, the market top, right? You can see that we've got slightly different data. The data is showing us, and I'll just get rid of this particular one here. The data is showing us 518 days. So pretty much about a year and a half, you can just about say, right? It took about a year and a half for us to get to that level, right? And this is where, what's his name? He was talking about it. Benjamin Cowan, who was talking about how the trends are extended, right? So now just to so I've taken these boxes, right? So we can see 335, 365, and then 518 days, right? So what I've done is I've taken all these boxes, I've put them here, and I'm just going to switch off to weekly so you can see better. So what I've did was I've copied the charts that we so the dates and everything. So this is the exact duplicate of those patterns, right? So here we have the first one, 2011 to 2013. I'm just not going to bother with that one. This is the second one, and this is the third one, right? So you can see the purple one here. This is the third one. Now, so here closer, you can see that we had the approximation of the 300 and something days, the 365 days. It might be slightly on and off, right? But that's what we've got here. And then, the next one, you can see we had a 525 days or whatever is showing. So this box, each box is different. So this is one box, ends here. This is another box, ends here. This is another box that ends here. Now, what I wanted to do was also kind of show you that when we dropped, so we had these pumps, right, just after a halving. When we dropped, how far we dropped, right, and where did we stabilize and come back on the next one. So the difference we see is we had this massive pump, right? We can see the percentage. Ignore these percentage. These are not the correct percentage because we're looking at a different time frame. So if you look at this particular area here, let me just get rid of this one as well, actually, right? Just to make it easier for everybody. So this particular time, I'm not going to count. I'm not going to count, but this one I want to count, right? So this one here, you can see that we had a 10,000% pump, right? So from the halvening date to the top, we had a 10,000%, right? Then later on, when we did the second one in 2017, you can see from the day of the halvening to the top, market top, which was here, we had a 3,000%, right? And currently, where we are, right, I'm not even gonna, well, I can actually draw one. Let me just draw one temporarily just to show you currently where we are, right? So currently, from this specific date, if we took one and we just put it on the top of the cycle, which is here, you can see we've already done a 724%. Now, obviously, we're in a bit of a correction. That's a different story. But even if we did take the correction and said, right, when the bottom of the correction, this particular wick here, you can see we're still 283% up, right? So I just wanted to kind of show this, that where we are. Now, you can also see this blue line here, this blue wavy line here. And let's zoom in to show you what I'm trying to show you here. This is the stock to flow model. Right, this blue wavy line is a stock to flow model, and currently, as you can see, the stock to flow model slightly failed, right? Slightly failed, not to worry about it, but that's just on the momentarily thing, right? The logarithmic curve is also showing that we are still moving up, right? Now we can activate our moving averages and we can see that the moving averages are there, but as I said to you, moving averages I don't really care too much about because it's just another way of, it's just a data point. It's not really giving you anything significant. It's just telling you what the market's been doing on an average, right? It's not, this is more of a price action. Also, the logarithmic chart is showing us that every day we're moving up and our averages are moving up as well. But I just wanted to see this, like, I want to see how far did we go. And then obviously we had a dump, that's fine. But then after, when we did the second round, how far did we, you know, the difference, right? The percentage difference. So this is showing you the percentage. So we had a 58% difference in the drop, right? So the next high we did, we had 58% according to this, right? The one after that, you can see here, right, was 66. So what you're seeing is the percentage went to 10,000 and then came down and it was like very small, and then it went to 3,000 and it came down very small, and now we're sitting here and this is what I'm seeing. So I can see that we're probably within this trajectory, but it will probably extend. So I think the next this particular bull run, now looking at this particular data and where we are, so we're currently here, so you can see that we're on the 7th of June. If we follow this specific model, and if we just take this length here and say, okay, 5 bars, that's 5 weeks, right? So on a weekly, 5 bars, 5 weeks. This is the difference, basically, what we got in between this, right? So we're just calculating percentages, and we're saying, okay, let's have a look at this particular one and see this area and see what we got here. So we see a massive difference. If we take all of these into account and then now say, okay, we had 5 bars here, we had 23 bars here, what if we had 40 bars on this one? So if we do 40 bars on this one, and this is just my theoretical thing, it's just a theory, guys, this is not the fixed thing, right? So we just do a 40 bars, right, from where we are, so the half itself, right, what we're trying to do, sorry, no, my bad, wrong place. Because we want to do it from the previous one, right? So this is the previous one, right? Where is it? Yeah, this is the previous one. So if it's the previous one, and if we do a 40 bars, just for the sake of it, right? I'm just doing it random. I'm just gonna. This is not fixed, right? So we do a 40 bars, and we put it somewhere around here. You can see that stock to flows model. So this is 38 bars anyway, but stock to flows model of the 288K is definitely still in play, right? And it could take us to the middle of next year, right? If we did that, right? If we're following these patterns and we're saying how the lines at times are extending. So if we are extending, I think we might actually end up seeing something like this, just following this pattern. Even if we did take it to, say we copied and we said we do another 23 bars, right? And we put this on the line. So 23 bars takes us closer to 200K. So as I said, I agree to disagree, but there are some things that I believe I'm seeing slightly different, where he's seeing something differently. I'm not counting the total entire bull run. I'm just counting from the halvening. So obviously this particular bull run didn't start in the halvening. It actually started here. But just if you use the halvening lines, right, to do the maths, this is what I'm seeing, and this is all the data points exactly here. You can see the log charts, you can see the bottom of the stock to flow channels, you can see the top of the stock to flow channels, you can see exactly where we are, and all the data points that I've collected here. I've actually tried to put it down here, and it's not 100%, but this is just my kind of a theory that I'm thinking that yes, we are going to see lengthening cycles, definitely. Diminishing returns are in percentage, not in the value. That's a different story. And if we did follow some patterns like this and we are extending with the lengthening cycles, then we do have, you know, if we were to copy the previous one, then we can see that this one is telling us 23 bars. If we did put another 23 bars, we're there, but most probably we're going to probably see a 30 bar. So if we do see a 30 bar, it is going to take us into 2022. So all I'm going to say is, if you guys are hodlers, then yeah, we've got some great news coming ahead, but that means we're going to have to hodl until next year. And you see what I've drawn, right? So I've put specific dates, I've put some things, and I was looking at completely something different. I'm not looking at the diminishing return scenario as his model. Fair play, it's not a problem, because I have, you know, I do agree that the percentage is going to be less, but the value is going to be more. So we agree to disagree on that one. You know, an extended bull run, I do believe that's the case, but there's a problem with that model as well. The reason is because you've got early stage where basically there's no adoption, all right, just a few bunch of users for the first bull run. The second bull run, we have a lot more retail and XYZ, and we do see a lengthening time. And then I think 2017 literally put Bitcoin on the map, right? So if we are to take any data, we can only actually take 2017. We can't take the others, right? We can use them to see, do some comparisons, but when it comes to value proposition, we can't actually use that data to calculate the value and calculate the market length and cycles. We can't, you know. Right now you've got adoption. You didn't have that before, right? 2017, most people were speculating. Some people bought, but most people were speculating because the price was just too high. Everyone was like, oh, it's too high, I need to buy it when it comes cheaper. It's too high, I need to buy it when it comes cheaper. And a lot of those people didn't buy, all right? Good on them. But then when it came back down to 3K, they didn't buy either. So let's not talk about that. It's a different story. This is a story, you know, of our lives, right? I've known people who want to buy Bitcoin, you know, and say, oh, we're going to buy Bitcoin. So fine, Bitcoin's at 2K, and then it keeps on going, oh, it's too high, it's going to come down, it's too high. It goes all the way to 20K, it's too high. Then it comes down all the way to, you know, 3K, for example. Oh no, it's crashed, that's it, Bitcoin's not worth it. Okay, fine. Then it goes back up again. Oh damn, okay, I need to get back into Bitcoin. By the time they do, it's already another 20K. So it's the same story all over again. No one's got that leap of faith. No one actually understands it. And that's why I actually go around telling people that, look, this is what Bitcoin is. If you don't understand what it is, I'll explain to you. I'll spend my time and explain to you. It doesn't cost you anything. I'll happily spend that time with you. So that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing, you know, also like with Plan B, I kind of also agree. So I don't really agree with his model. He's saying 288K. I have specifically said $146,000. If it goes over, happy days. That's my figure, 146. I don't like to hype the higher figures. I mean, higher figures could be anything. I mean, Plan B's already said like we're going to go to 1 million. So what's the point, right? But for this particular season, I've got 146 on the target. That's my particular price. It was 133 to 146. That's my range. Coincidentally, Benjamin Cowan also kind of agrees to that. So he agrees, and this is his range, by the way, 100 to 200. So he's not wrong. I've been a little bit more specific, where he's just given a wide range. A lot of the guys are doing that actually, because the model, the thing is, there's so much news out there, and this is what it is. Too many people get confused because, you know, regardless how much you filter out or how much of your own opinion you have, unfortunately, what you surround yourself with does impact your thinking, right? And this is what it is. So I'm not going to say too much on that, but as I said, I do agree with him on some points. I disagree with the others, you know, and for me, I'm a lot more specific on what I say, so I'm just going to leave it there. I wouldn't say anything more than that. Temporary, are we going to see dump. So I'm looking for a double bottom. As far as I said, like recently when everybody was talking about how we had a double bottom, I said to everyone, I said, I don't think that's a double bottom. I think the double bottom is going to be if we hit the 30k again, right? So I'm still waiting for that. I think there's a big potential we're going to see that, and then we have to decide where we go. I was looking at some charts and I realized something, right? So what the charts are showing us, so currently we're at like what, 37, almost 37k, or we were at that time when I was looking. And what I've noticed is for us to reverse the trend, we need to go 10k up. For us to continue on the trend and confirm a bear cycle, we will go 10k down. So we're like right in the middle point at the moment, the deciding point, right? Decide whether you want to go up or down. That's where we are right now. So obviously most people wouldn't have any idea what's going on. We can only follow the trend. We can only follow the price action. So the trend line is holding. I'll put a chart here to show you. The trend line is holding for sure. The price action is also holding, I would say, but the volume is not as great, right? We need to see a lot more volume. I mean, if we had a $3-4 billion volume in a single exchange when Bitcoin was 10k, acceptable, right? Globally on all the exchanges, if we had a $40 billion volume, so when you average it, it's a small percent, right? But when you use all of those and you had that volume globally, if BTC was at 10k, makes sense, right? So for me, at the price BTC is right now, 37k, the volume should be at least 3 times, minimum 3 times more than what it is, especially for Bitcoin. So I'm talking in the region of at least 100 mil. We need to see 100 mil volume on a daily basis for Bitcoin in order for Bitcoin to go up. Saying that, I mean 100k could show up when we're bearish as well, but what I'm trying to 100 mil could also show when we're bearish as well. But we want to see this on a continuous thing. We don't want to just see it pop in one day and then go out one day. And there's a coincidence the other day, right? So you got the Tether. Remember the Tether? We had like $120 billion worth of Tether, and then the market, we had a dump, and then it shot up by 60 billion. The volume came in 60 billion, and Tether vanished. 60 billion bad, Tether vanished. So pretty much a coincidence, but not a coincidence. It's always obviously expected, because we have seen a lot of Tether printing as well. So a lot of people are just buying Tether and just holding it, right? Tether being minted means there's not enough Tether in circulation, so more Tether needs to be minted. When there's too much, they will usually burn it anyway. So if the Tether is sitting there at 60 billion right now, or 65 billion right now, there's that much Tether just sitting on Tether. Understand where I'm coming from? Now, half of that could be used on DeFi protocols and yield farming and whatnot. That's a different story. But there is a lot of money just sitting on exchanges. Got to decide, see what happens. I've told everybody, wait until Sunday, right? Just wait until Sunday, because I want to see how this G7 meeting plays out. And I want to really observe and see what kind of send, because I think a lot of the smart guys are just holding back because of that. And also we had options liquidation recently as well. So the options contracts expired. I forgot how many $1 billion. It wasn't much. It didn't really impact so much. It did kind of bring the market down, so we did come down because of that. So yeah, I mean, liquidations play a big part, and that's the problem with people who are over leveraged, right? This is a time, this is what I'm saying, do not leverage trade, do not, right, avoid trading at all, right? If you're going to buy, then buy, but don't leverage trade, right? Right now it's too risky. It doesn't matter whether we're going up to the moon or whether we're going down. Right now, this very specific moment, you don't trade. I would highly recommend for us to break the trend and move back up and have the confirmation of breaking the trend. And 47 is that key, right? The 43 to 47 is that key. If we can get to the 43 to 47, then we can say, right, now the trend is broken, we're moving back up, go in, do your trade. If you're a trader, it doesn't matter what price it is. It doesn't matter if it's at $1. It doesn't matter if it's at $10,000. It doesn't matter. What matters is how much you're trading. So for example, if your trading portfolio is 5K, then you're trading 5K, you know? And if you're going to trade 5K, 10x that, play 50K, and you want to make 10% on that, you just make yourself 5K. So you're actually working on monetary value, right? So this is how trading works. A lot of people don't understand, right? So it doesn't matter what price it is. Bitcoin could be at 500k and you can still trade 5k and still make a 5k. Do you know what I mean? So it's a different story. Let's not, you know, I mean, this, I don't want to get into too much detail, but that's what I'm trying to say. Avoid leverage trading, guys. This is one of the reasons why I don't promote it. I don't promote it. I do have links below, but I don't promote it, right? You can go and do if you want to risk it, but I always tell you it's too risky. You don't want to trade that. You're better off spot buying. You're better off dollar cost averaging in, and yeah, just hodl. Right now is a great opportunity to buy as much as possible. So yeah, I mean, I've been telling everybody, just keep on buying. Also wanted to leave an update. Monday I might not be able to do a video, depends on what time I finish. I've got early morning meeting and then an afternoon meeting as well. So if I'm not too tired or if I'm not too tied up, I will make a video in the evening or something. But if I don't, then forgive me. I'll drop something on Tuesday. I'll probably do a chart on Tuesday or something, or probably just do one on a Sunday or something. I don't know. But I am going to drop some charts for you. Not that they matter right now. It doesn't matter, because if you look at my public chart in the link below, that's the main chart. It's there for everybody to view. You don't even need a trading view account for it. You just click the link and you can see exactly where the lines are drawn, and that just shows you. So this trend here, whether it goes it succeeds or it fails, whatever happens with this trade, once this trend is over, I'm going to revert back to the old chart that we had way back from October, November, December, whatever. I'm going to bring you back to that chart because the chart is still there. Haven't changed anything. All the lines and everything are still there. So we are definitely going to go back to that. But I think right now it's all about patience, discipline, huge discipline. And remember one thing, guys: if you bought high and currently you're at a loss, do not sell. It's the worst thing you can do. Do not sell. Just hodl. It's one of those kind of things. It's hodl. I know a lot of people might turn around and say, you know, hodl or sounds like a scam and this and that. Yeah, maybe Ponzi scams and this and that would do that. Bitcoin's not a Ponzi. Believe me, it's not a Ponzi. Right? When you've got banks and institutions interested, it's not a Ponzi. That's proof enough for you. When you've got countries, you know, adopting it, when you've got the IMF fighting it, you know it's not a scam anymore, right? When you've got people like Donald Trump coming and saying, you know, Bitcoin is a competing currency against the US dollar, you know it's not a Ponzi, right? They know as well, you know as well, right? So it's not a Ponzi. It's one of those. It's just a very volatile, because obviously how the market works, and it's a very brand new market as well. It's only 12 years old, so we haven't matured yet. And until it matures, it's not going to stabilize. So these swings from what we had back in the days, also the subject about the diminishing return that I was talking about, it's the same thing. The swings, we're not seeing those. So we used to, I mean, for us, the first bull run, which were like, you know, I don't know, 2,000, 3,000, I can't remember off the top of my head, right? Massive gains, right? And then we had like a few thousand%, right? And then we had like 100%, whatever. What I'm trying to say here is the more we mature as a market, as an industry, as an asset class, right, the more stabilized we will get. Along that stabilization, so just before we get there, and I briefly think it's about 2030, but before we get there, the market will mature and stabilize, right? And the returns, because of that, the percentages of the swings are going to get less and less and less. So that we might come to a position where we might not see these big 45, 55, 70%. Like back in the days, we used to have like 70%, 80%, 85%, like 90%, for God's sake, you know, dumps, right? We used to have those. So, but after doing a 2,000% and then having a 90% dump, it's not really bad, right? But the point is we accept that because this is the nature of the, you know, the whole entire system. Nothing goes straight up and nothing gets adopted in one day. So we understand that. Anybody who understands crypto or anything like this, or the fundamentals, why we even go enter it, right? We understand this. You know, we're serious about it, so we understand. And we know that, you know, over time, these percentages are going to get less. So we're not going to see these big 50% swings. We probably see on average maybe a 2-3% swing. When it comes to that stage, that's when I will be exiting, finding something else to play around with. Because volatility was the reason why I entered, right? If it wasn't volatile, I wouldn't enter. If it didn't go up 20% in a day, right? And if it didn't dump 50% in a day, there's no point. It's a dead currency. All right, if it's alive and kicking, you want to be in it because that's where you make the most money. I'll just leave it with that one. So other than that, guys, I'm not going to make it any longer. There's nothing else here. I've obviously showed you the charts and everything. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in another one. Adios, amigos.